Philadelphia. My name is Oshun. On this channel, we uncover the creepiest, most unusual haunted TikToks the internet has to offer for entertainment purposes. Y'all are my soul tribe. Tribe is with a Y because the Y is for you. And that's because I love you so freaking much. I appreciate you, honey. I appreciate your time. And I do not take it for granted whatsoever. Seriously, keep it coming, honey. And make sure you like, comment, share, because sharing is caring and it's free. Okay? Let me know in the comments where you are from and how long have you been subscribed. If you're not subscribed, then what are you waiting for? All right, y'all, let's get to this video.
This is without a doubt the creepiest mugshot I've ever seen. This is 33-year-old Solomon Galligan. He is an S offender that tried to kidnap a little boy from an elementary school in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
This entire ordeal happened last Friday and he went up to multiple children. Before police arrived, he tried to grab the young boy and flee, but that was unsuccessful, so he just fled to begin with. He was later caught by police and charged with 1 count of kidnapping. As a result, the elementary school and the surrounding areas are increasing security and police presence.
Yes,
but
please.
Bro, this mugshot is definitely the creepiest shit I've ever seen. There's not a single feeling of remorse or regret in those eyes. He's now being held on a $25,000 bond. He had a similar incident in 2012 and he failed to register as an offender. Now, luckily, the little boy that he tried to kidnap was unharmed. And this also happened while the kids were at recess. I'm not sure how this happened. I feel like when I was growing up at recess, all of the teachers were watching us. But they definitely need to step up security. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Homie, don't see him coming, but I do. Them niggas is creeping behind you. Never move that work if it ain't your turf. Niggas shouldn't have to remind you. Them bullets is flying now. That boy is crying now. But nobody hears the sound. I see.
Go ahead.
Never cheat on me, she said. She was talking to a man with her heart full of anger and a 357 banger in my hand. She put 2 in his chest, put 2 more in his head. She said if she can't have him, then nobody can. She wouldn't let him go though, didn't have the strength to hold on, but they turned to her head and squad. I say, Daddy, you killed my homeboy, so I gotta avenge that. Black mask, and I know it is that. I went through a lot to get you, so I know I won't miss you. I'm killing whoever with you.
Wow.
Whatever deity that guides my life. Dear Lord, don't let me die tonight. But if I shall before I wake, then I'll accept my fate. When I committed sin, my heart was in the right place. I did what I did to put food on my plate. So when they come for me, keep me safe. I see dead people coming out of their grave, wiping dirt off their shirt, still walking around the earth, watching they left your girl, climbing out of their grave, wiping dirt off their shirt, still walking around the earth. I see dead people coming out of their grave, wiping dirt off their shirt, still walking around the earth, watching they left your girl, climbing out of their grave, wiping dirt off their shirt, still walking around the earth. I see dead people.
Ooh. His voice is everything.
Who's ready
Oh,
for
heck, yes.
story? The story I'm going to tell you is 100% true. It happened in the house I grew up in the early 2000s. Never really shared it publicly before, but since my channel is about scary stories and horror books, I thought I'd give it a share. When I was in my late teens, one night I was just hanging out in my room, just me and my dog watching TV. It was dark, the house was quiet, and then out of nowhere came this crash, this boom throughout the whole house. In fact, it shook the house. The way I can describe it is like somebody took up a bowling ball, raised it above their head, and just threw it at the ground as hard as they could. So naturally, I jumped. I was startled. My dog immediately gets up and starts barking and howling uncontrollably, and she's going off. And then at the same time, I hear my brother from the next room. Our rooms were connected by a wall. He starts screaming my name. He sounds terrified. So I run to his room, trying to figure out what's going on. I throw the door open. He's sitting in his bed. He's kind of like leaning against the wall while he's sitting there. And he is flush white. His eyes are wide. He looks absolutely terrified. I look around the room and I notice nothing's out of place. I'm thinking that maybe he knocked something over. A piece of furniture got broken. I don't know what's happening at this point. So I go over to him and ask him, hey, what happened? What was that noise? He's trying to get himself together. And what he tells me is he was laying in bed watching TV. His room is dark. When he feels something close to him. And while he's lying there, he looks up. And above him is this floating mass, this dark mass. And it's just like looming over top of him, like it's looking down at him. And he freezes in place. He doesn't know what to do. And then this mass, as it's floating there, he described it like it shrank up into the size of a ball, like a bowling ball. And it made this big circular figure. It's hovering there, and then it just crashes through the floor and disappears through the floor. And that's the exact same time that I heard this boom. And to this day, I still remember that moment. I still remember how it shook the house.
Wow.
After that night, we never saw it again, or he never saw it. I never heard it again. There were plenty of other weird things that happened to this house. And at the time, the original part of the house was about 70 years old, so it's an old farmhouse. And things were continuously happening. If you have any theories about what it was, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments.
What y'all think?
If you want more scary stories, let me know. We've got plenty more to share.
July of 2012, Leah Hiller was training for the U.S. Triathlon National Championships in Island Lake, Minnesota. She planned to go for a mile-long swim, as she had done many times before. But what she encountered
I still got
in this
that song
lake
in my
this
head.
time would turn out to be what nightmares are made of. The thing about Island Lake is that the water is the color of like dark rum. So if you put your hand into the water, you can't even see past your elbow. And so you have no idea what's beneath. So as Leah's father and two children stood along the shore and watched her swim, Leah suddenly felt a pair of tiny little hands grab her foot, followed by a sharp set of teeth biting into her ankle so hard that it penetrated the bone. And all this happened so quickly, and whoever this little thing is that has grabbed and bitten her lets go. And so in these next few moments, she is so panicked and confused, trying to think, what is this in this lake that I've been in hundreds of times, literally during my training, that is now attacking me? I've never had anything like this happen to me before. And just as she's thinking that, she sees a small head only a few feet away emerge from this lake. And this head kind of looks around for a second and then sees her and fixes its gaze directly onto her and doesn't look away. And it's at this time Leah realizes she's looking at an otter. And she said, surely this can't be what just bit me. Otters don't attack people, do they? But what Leah didn't know at that time is that later doctors would realize that otter was currently infected with rabies. And so it had essentially turned it into this rogue, bloodthirsty otter that was staring directly into her eyes. Seconds later, this otter torpedoes back into the water and heads straight for her legs again. Then she feels a searing pain, she described it, into her calf muscle. This otter's teeth sliced through her calf muscle while its little hands were grabbing her leg. And at this point, she begins to panic and scream. She said, this thing is ripping me apart. I need help. It's crunching into my ankle bone. It's slicing into my muscle. I need real help, or this thing is going to tear my legs to pieces. On the shore, Leah's father sees this commotion. She's splashing and screaming and waving her arms all frantically and panicked, and he knows something's wrong. She's never done anything like this, and all the times that she swam in this lake, and so he quickly rushes over to a pontoon boat that he owned. But in his own panic of seeing his daughter in this state, this frenzied state, he accidentally floods the motor of the boat and it won't start, and he's not able to get out there this moment to help his daughter. And so Leah does her best to swim to shore, knowing she can't outswim this otter, and puts one hand over her throat, knowing that if she got hit there, she would not make it. And so she continues paddling to shore as fast as she can. The entire time, this otter repeated the same cycle. It would grab hold of her legs, bite into her, let her go, swim away, and emerge on the surface, looking around until it saw her position again, and then dart right back under the water and start it all over. This otter would go on to do this 25 times.
What?
Leah Hiller was ripped into 25 times by this rabies-infested otter before her father was finally able to find a neighbor's pontoon boat and fire it up and get out there to save her. When Leah was finally pulled onto the boat, her neoprene wetsuit was ripped to shreds on the entire lower half of her body, and blood was pouring down her legs. Her two kids were horrified to see her and instantly started crying, and she was taken to the hospital. Later at the hospital, when doctors realized that this otter likely had rabies, she had to receive a rabies shot in every bite wound, meaning she received 25 shots in her open wounds. But Leah went on to make a full recovery, and she continued training for the triathlon and did not let this stop her.
So I have in fact experienced a real life haunting one time when I was babysitting. Very old house, 3 kids ages 5, 3, and 1. Before the parents left, the dad looked at me and said, "Hey, I'm sorry." I have no idea what he was saying sorry for. I was like, "Oh, that's okay." The whole time I kept hearing creaks and whispers throughout the house. But it was a really old house, so I was like, I'm just imagining this. And the 5-year-old looks at me and says, The 5-year-old looks at me and says, "Hey, did you know we used to have a cat and it on Halloween, and so my dad buried it in the backyard." I was like, that's great. If you are with kids a lot, you know they say weird things. She wanted to play a game where she was the cat that I had to bury in the backyard. It was a weird night. So I put the kids to bed. Like clockwork, 5-year-old gets up and says she needs a glass of water. Getting her a glass of water when a cat covered in dirt runs up from the basement. I say, "Hey, I thought you said your cat." She said, "He did." I said, "Then who's this cat?" She looks at me and says, "What cat?" And it's like swirling at her feet. I think she's messing with me. I'm like, whatever, so I send her back to bed. Then I was like, well, I have this stray cat running around these people's house. So like an idiot, I chase the cat and it runs into the basement. Why I followed it down, I don't know. But I did, and when it got to the bottom of the stairs, it went into a corner and disappeared. I was like, weird. I went back upstairs to go do my homework. Then I hear metal clanging at the front door, like someone's clanging. And I think the parents are home early and they're struggling to get inside, so I go to open the door for them. And they're like so loud, they're struggling so much. I open the door, nobody's there. I was like, I'm getting a little freaked out now. So I go back on the couch to start texting my friends what's happening. And I turn around and the picture behind me has turned sideways. Then I start hearing whispers around the house. I think the kids have woken up, so I go to their room to tell them to be quiet. Knocked out asleep. Got really nervous, so I had to go pee. I go to the bathroom and all the lights in the house shut off. I immediately text the parents, "You need to come home. Something's wrong. All of the lights just shut off." As soon as I texted that, I heard footsteps coming upstairs, like from the basement coming upstairs. And there are voices saying, "Where is she? The lights are off. Where is she? The lights are off." And so I'm like, okay, thank God the parents are home. Like, I'm done. And so I turn on the flashlight on my phone and I go to meet them at the steps. I thought it was weird they were coming from the basement, but I figured maybe there was like a door to the garage there or something. And so I yell out to them like, "I'm here, I'm over here, your lights came out, sorry." I shine my flashlight towards the basement. No one's there. Their 2 dogs run over to me and sit on my right and my left and lowered their heads towards the basement. And I'm hearing whispers and I'm assuming the dogs heard it too. It's probably the scariest I've ever been in my life, but I'm still a babysitter, so I still have to like protect the kids. So I run back into the hallway in front of the kids' room to just stand in front. Like if I was gonna go out, at least I was gonna go out protecting those kids. Then all of a sudden the whispering stopped. The lights slowly came back on. I got on the phone with some friends. They were trying to come pick me up, but I couldn't leave the kids. I stayed on the phone with friends until the parents got home. I was really shaken up, so I couldn't even tell the parents what happened. I just took the money and left.
He knew.
I was so scared. I turned on the lights in my car on the way home because I just was horrifying. And then I slept with all my lights on that night. I never went back, but I am still a babysitter. So, I guess it didn't scare me too much.
I'm warning y'all now, this is a ghost story. If that's not your vibe, keep scrolling. If it is, Hi, welcome. This is not a story that I've ever actually told publicly, but I think that if I tell this story, then maybe somebody will help me figure out what exactly I experienced. I think maybe I haven't told the story because it frightens me. I've been seeing an influx of people having supernatural encounters, and I just wanted to get mine into the world. Let me set the tone for you. Let me give you a location. I lived in a town called Ephrata, Pennsylvania. And if you haven't seen my hometown series, it's located right in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And a lot of weird happenings been going on there. Long story short, with the history of the town, in the early days, it was a very divided town.
Allegheny
On one
County,
side of the town, we
Pittsburgh,
had a
Pennsylvania.
cult, not occult, a cult. A group of people called the Cloister who were preparing themselves for the afterlife. Again, I have a haunted hometown playlist. You can do it yourself.
What?
On the opposite side of town, we have a seance house. And the house at one point used to be a hospital. Then the hospital was bulldozed and it was turned into a Hampton Inn. And then smack in the middle of this town, we have an Indian burial ground. A lot of people in this town are not making it past the age of like 25. It's a really, really creepy vibe. Walking around Ephrata feels like you have a cloud over your head. More so, it feels like you have a cloud over your head if you don't want to be there. There's a good bit of people who do love Ephrata, but they don't have any intention of leaving. Anybody that I've ever known that planned on moving out of their hometown and lived in Ephrata just felt so weighed down. And in a lot of the situations, those are the people who end up dying early. So this story takes place in my house, in my childhood home. And at this point, I want to say I was like 5 or 6 years old. And I've always been a very intuitive person. My dreams have often predicted things and still continue to do that in my life. You can believe it or you cannot believe it. I don't control your life. But on this one particular day, I heard my Aunt Lisa calling my name, which was very, very weird because Aunt Lisa did not live in my house. In fact, she lived in New Jersey, like an hour and a half away. But I was little, and I heard my aunt, and I was excited, so I wanted to go to her. So she's continuing to call my name, and it's like while I'm walking down my hallway. And the way my house is set up, it's my bedroom, my mom's bedroom, a hallway that leads down to like a staircase into the basement, and the basement was the most haunted place in my house. So in essence, the call was coming from my basement. So I walk out my bedroom door, and I start to go towards the voice. And by sheer miracle, my mom opens her bedroom door. She's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I said, oh, Mom, and you didn't tell me Aunt Lisa was here. Because that's because she isn't. I said, but who was calling my name? My mom goes, oh, you must have been imagining things. But I have thought about that since the day it happened. I can hear it clear as day in my head. I, remember it vividly like it was yesterday. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what I experienced. But that really
Your mama saved
rocked
you.
me for a very long time. I have many other paranormal stories, so if this is the vibe you want to look for a little while, just let me know and I'll, do some more.
Okay, Peter Patella.
What? Look at me.
I see dead people.
What?
I see dead people.
I have a theory for the universe. And I need your
What
answer.
was that
So
about?
let's say this is the beginning of our life and this is the end of our life. When you're thinking about reincarnation, it's as if you go through your entire life and then at some part you just start over and then you continue on to the next life, right? But we think in linear terms as humans. What if it's not actually linear? What if this life is happening from start to finish? And then your other life is happening from start to finish. And your other life is happening from start to finish.
Simultaneously.
And they're all happening at the same damn time. And the core of all of those
You gotta align
experiences
with the life
make
that you
up
want.
the entirety of who you are. Not only on a human level, but your fucking soul. But what if your soul is just a circle that is existing? Possibly a galaxy
Energy
that is
ball.
just existing. And all of these lives happening up at the same time make you who you are. So instead of going from this life and then back out here to this life and back out here, what if it all just is? And this is the isness of life.
Isness.
I think I figured it out. One thing that I also thought about, the fact that we have the Apple Cloud and it has every single person's videos, their photos, all of their experiences on their phone, right? Even if you do not go into the Apple Cloud and push
It's
play
still
on a
there.
video, the entire 10 seconds of that video exists. That moment in time fucking exist. So you get to choose what video to watch. Even if you think about Spotify, every song is playing at the same time on Spotify. But it's not until you push play
You
that a
play
song
it.
starts playing for you. But if you don't push play, that song
playing.
still exists. That song
Somewhere else,
still makes sound. Every single second and point in that sound exists and is playing in that moment. It's fucking insane. I feel like
It
I've cracked
is.
some type of code. This book actually started all of my questions for this shit. I swear to God,
Yes.
Project 369. It goes over a lot of sacred geometry and like shit that like really wakes you up. There's more than we know.
If
You know,
you
I
know,
feel
you
insane explaining these concepts sometimes, especially to like just my normal friends. So it's crazy to be here on the internet explaining this shit.
Y'all really need to watch out for provoking
So
spirits.
Trybe, we get
These
it,
spirits
right?
are very smart, but they weak and they prey on strong people. These type of spirits will bring you into fury and let you win the battle, because winning the argument does not make them feel like they won. Getting you out your character and wasting your energy makes them feel like they won. Provoking spirits gets a high out of bringing people out of their character. They get a high out of making people act out of their emotions. You have to know how to identify one of these and control yourself when one of these are attacking you. Because y'all have to realize we are in spiritual warfare. Y'all gotta stop looking at things physically all the time. Because if you don't realize that a provoking spirit inhabits people's body, you will be lost. A provoking spirit can inhabit anybody. It can be your friends, your family, your significant other, or it can be a quote-unquote op. A provoking spirit don't care about physical things. So they'll get you to a point to where you want to unalive them. And you know what? They still won. Because they got you to a point where you just threw your life away. Because all that spirit is going to do is jump in another person's body and do the same thing to them that they just did to you. You have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent in this world. You have to realize that some people just do things so you can act out of character and give your energy to them. They love negative energy. They absorb it every time you lash out at them. That's why when you be serious as hell, they be laughing. They'll look at you dead in your face and laugh at you because you did what they want you to do. Comment if you ever experienced a provoking spirit and what you did to overcome it.
Have.
Peace.
Hey, how are you?
All right, how's it going?
Good.
It's creepy.
Can't control it, so sorry.
No disrespect, but wow. Wow. How in the world?
So let me ask you a question. Was he Pops?
Yeah.
Okay, because I said Grandpa, and he said, no, I'm Pops.
Wow. There's no way. There's no source you can be getting this from.
He's very happy that you're super close to your mom. Are you close to her?
Very.
Yeah.
I'm completely taken aback.
He's baffled.
Understand if you can see him.
I don't know where to look. I don't know what.
I see dead people, and this is what they look like. Okay.
I'm naming this episode I See Dead People.
And so can you. Okay. So there is loads of confusing information out there on the tinterwebs about how you see them, what they look like. So I'm going to share with you my beliefs around this, and hopefully it might give you some clarity and clear up some of your questions. Okay, so spirits can take lots of different shapes and forms. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on loved ones who have passed. So loved ones who have passed, they usually show up to us in the form of when they were in the prime of their life, kind of looking their best. That would be before any illness or any strain would have taken part on their body. Or they're going to show up in a way of how you best remember them. And what I mean by this is, like, an example, my grandparents, I did not know what they looked like in the prime of their life. Like, I've seen pictures, but that is not the first way I think of them or regard them, to be honest. So there are two main ways they're going to show up for us. And what you can see can be different from person to person. Now, depending on your level of awareness and how long you've been working on your psychic ability and ability to see spirit, means how, again, you might see them could be different. You might just see a shadow. You may see a colour. You must just see like a shimmering energy. And that doesn't mean that's the energy form they've taken. That is just what you're picking up at this moment in time. And that, of course, can evolve as you develop your practice. However, like I say, a shadow, a colour, an energy form, even a whisper spoke is a really great starting point that you can build on that picture and get it to be clearer and clearer for you. The thing is, so many people just don't even bother to try doing that. So what can you do so you can see them? Honestly, you don't really need to do a lot. I imagine you actually have the ability to see them already. You are potentially just brushing the experience off. Your conscious mind comes in, self-doubts, lacking belief, and you cut that connection and your ability to build on the connection and build on that picture and being able to see them. One of the biggest problems is people believe they're going to see spirit with their human physical eyes. And honestly, that is so rare. Most of us see spirit in our mind's eye. It's like a memory, or basically when you conjure up a picture when you're doing a visualization. However, this time you're going to be visualizing a loved one. The main difference though is you are not conjuring up the image. You are receiving the image from spirit and their energy. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense and if you have that ability.
Hell yes.
Proof that spirits are real.
Y'all gotta watch this.
Say it again.
Y'all gotta watch this.
Prove that you're here.
Look at this.
Why do you keep turning off the TV?
Look at this entity.
Ooh.
Just keep
hey,
watching.
hon. Come here. Look.
No, I can't build that.
I don't think it's just down here.
Watch.
You gotta see the shadow.
This is the most active during the day that I've... there goes the Xbox 2. Wait a minute.
You hear that?
Oh, I'm not liking
Watch
this.
this. Watch this.
Oh, wow. Wait. I swear I can see. Ooh, stop it.
What the fuck,
I'm not liking that. Hon? Let's
Time
go
to
to
go.
dinner or something for a while.
What's going on, y'all?
Time to go.
What's going on?
3 demons that make you procrastinate and never want you to finish anything ever in life. Number 1, Belphegor, the demon of sloth. Belphegor thrives on laziness and apathy. And if you don't know, apathy is the highest level of confusion. He whispers into your mind that there's no need to rush, convincing you that taking a break will solve everything. His influence is very subtle. At first you feel like that you're just resting, but soon enough you've wasted hours. And if you ever catch yourself thinking, I'll just do this later, it's probably Belphegor at work. Number 2 is Asmodeus, the demon of lust. Asmodeus is a seducer of instant gratification. He draws you away from your responsibilities and tempts you into indulging in whatever brings you the quickest pleasure, whether it's social media, video games, food, or anything else that distracts you from the task at hand. He's the voice inside of your head saying, just one more episode. Number 3, Ashtaroth,
Spiritual
the
cleanse,
demon of
y'all.
despair. Ashtaroth is a demon who preys on your self-doubt and fear of failure. His presence makes you feel overwhelmed by the task ahead and convinces you that you are not good enough to succeed. He'll make you freeze up with anxiety, thinking, there's no way I can do this perfectly, so why should I even try?
Well, you reached the end of another video. I know I switched up real quick. Video footage was lost. It is what it is, okay? At least you made it this far. Give me a sunflower in the comments if you did make it this far. Let me know that you are a real one, baby, okay? But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate your time. Please give it to everybody you know, because everybody needs a piece of this joy in their life, okay? Whether you want to feed them, fuck them, fight them, fart in their mouth, your auntie, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your baby daddy's dog's breeder, okay? Everybody needs to see this. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate you, and I'm out. Ashe.
What do you lie down with your head? Over my dirt,